Good morning. It is Tuesday and it's April 13th, and I am so glad to be back with you this morning. Last week I was off, not feeling the best on Tuesday morning, and I just have to say I have the best community because I did have a couple of you reach out to me and say, where were you this morning? So thanks for checking in on me. That's pretty awesome, and again, I really appreciate it. So let's talk about March. Good morning, Lonnie. Let's talk about March this year versus March last year, kind of recap that, and then we're going to talk about a few tips for our buyers out there in the market. So this year, sales were up in March 25% compared to 2020. So that's quite a number, and that's reflected in Firelands and in the auditor's office. Good morning, Charlie. Days on market averaged 64 this March. Last March averaged 88. So you can see things we're turning around this year much quicker. Last year our median sales price was $116,000, and this year we're at $130,000. So you can see again those prices are up in that 8 to 12% range, like we've been talking from this year to last year. Thank you, Charlie. This past week in Firelands alone, we had 10 new listings come on the market. 3 of those properties are already under contract. 10 new properties under contract this past week, and 12 properties sold last week alone. When I drilled down those sold figures in Tiffin, 9 of those listings were only on the market 37 days. So that means went on the market and were sold, closed. New buyers had, the deed handed over within 37 days. So wild. So we are seeing very hot sellers market again. Good morning, Corinne. Thanks for joining me. Very hot sellers market in the Tiffin and Seneca County area. So let's talk about our few tips for you buyers who are out there right now trying to win the offers. We know that the last couple weeks, I have not seen a property come on the market that hasn't had at least 3. So you are always competing when you're putting when you're out there as a buyer and you're looking. So here's a few tips to give you a leg up, okay? Unless the property's been on the market for 14 days or more, you have 0 negotiating power right now as a buyer. You need to give the seller as many of the items and terms that they're looking for. So, the price is going to be at least asking price, if not higher. You are going to want to put down earnest money. I know my friend Monica right now is, cheering me on because she's at Century 21 over in Clyde, and she's always been a big proponent of earnest money, and I personally have not been. I hate earnest money. I think the state took a lot of its power out of the way when they came out with their new, their new laws regarding earnest money. However, in this market, you need to put yourself as solid as a buyer as possible. So Charlie, I'll get to your question here in just a second. So put down earnest money and make it an attractive dollar amount. Tell the seller how qualified you are. You can write them a love letter. They're not going to care about that necessarily when they're looking at 5 to 7 offers. Tell them you have 10% down. Your credit scores are amazing. Let them know why you are the most qualified buyer to buy this property. If the seller needs time to get out of the house, give them the time. 30 days is 30 days. I mean, at least you're going to be in the house at the end of that 30 days. Don't be trying to negotiate 14 or 10, not in this market. Make your offer clean. Don't throw in extra furniture. Don't throw in, extra little terms that maybe the seller isn't going to agree to. Nice, clean, and high. Are appraisals still an issue? Oh my gosh, I'm finding wood right now to knock on. I have not seen it. Appraisals are finally catching up to where we are, right now in this high market. We see other states, and I listen to a lot of newscasts from other areas, and they're kind of saying the same thing. A lot of buyers are sometimes even putting in a clause in the bigger metropolitan areas saying that they're willing to pay the difference in that appraisal gap. So if it appraises here, buyers are willing to pay, $5,000, $10,000 over that appraisal value. So it's been a wild ride. Good morning, Tara. One more tip for a buyer. If you lose the property, ask the seller's agent if they don't offer it to you, ask the seller's agent if you can be a backup. Because we are seeing buyers who are making quick decisions and having inspections or ending up somehow getting a cold feet because they feel like they just went in too strong. So we have seen buyers back out. So ask the seller or seller's agent if you can be in a backup position for that home. So just a few tips there for my buyers who are out there struggling in this market. It's a little crazy. We know you're getting a little burnout, but hang in there. You'll get one. You just got to follow the advice of your agent and do what you need to do to win that offer. So thanks everybody for joining me. Appreciate you all and have a great day.